Hello again. In our previous tutorial, we learned how to create a 3D globe in Adobe Photoshop CC. In today's tutorial, we will continue and learn how to create a 3D animation for the 3D globe. First, I will click on the 3D globe layer, and as we can see, it activates the 3D environment. In the bottom, we can see the timeline panel. If you don't see the timeline panel, you can easily show it by clicking on Window, Timeline. Once we have the timeline panel appeared, we need to click on Create Video Timeline. This button allows timeline to have a separate layer for each layer we have on the Layers panel, including the 3D globe. As we can see, in the 3D globe layer appears on the top of the timeline layers, and when I click the arrow next the layer, I can see the properties layer. The properties layer indicates the options or the properties that I can use in my animation and how to animate the 3D globe. In case you don't have a 3D object, you will not be able to see the 3D properties. So the 3D properties are only activated when you have a 3D model in Photoshop. It starts by creating first keyframe, and now I will go to second number 2, and I will go from the properties, I will go to the coordination, and in the Y coordination I will type 180 and press enter. This will start creating this will create the second keyframe. This creates the second keyframe, and when I move the playhead I can see the animation. Now I will move to the second number 4, and from the coordination I will click type 360 and press enter. So I can see the animation for a complete circle. Now I would like to export this animation as a video. In Photoshop we render this animation. Before we render this animation, we have to clip the animation timeline to only the space we have the globe animation inside it. From the timeline, I will drag the bracket appears on the end of the animation to just the end of the 3D globe animation. So we only export the 3D globe animation. Now I will go to File, Export, Render Video. The Render Video dialog box appears that allows me to type the name of the video, select the destination, or even create a subfolder. The most important thing that I can select the video format that I would like to export. I can either use Adobe Media Encoder or use Photoshop or export the video as sequence images. I will keep the video media encoder. Adobe Media Encoder is an external tool that allows you to export video in a different formats. So from the formats I will choose QuickTime, and I can set the quality of the QuickTime file. Also I can choose the size of my document, the frame rate or how many frames per second, the speed of my document, how the video is loaded. By default it's progressive. I can also choose the aspect ratio for the video. From the range I can set the range of the frames that I would like to create. I can select all frames or choose specific type of frames or choose work area. Work area is the area we selected using the brackets. Also we have the rendering option for the alpha channels and 3D quality. Then I will press render to start rendering my video. Now I can go to the video destination, and I will choose, and I will double click, and I click play. to preview my animation. At this stage, we created at this stage At this stage, we learned how to create a 3D animation in Adobe Photoshop. You can apply the same methodology in creating either 2D or 3D other models in our document. Finally, I would like to thank you. Don't forget to follow our channel. Bye bye.